Good afternoon, viewers. Today marks the International Children's Day of Broadcasting. On this day, children worldwide participate in content production for broadcast on radio and television. In commemoration of the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, welcome to this special interview on MAJaC TV in Bakau, Newtown South. I am your host, Binta Njie. This interview will focus on the rights and welfare, education and opportunities, health and well-being, as well as participation and future of children in the Gambia. My guest for this special interview is the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Honorable Fatou Kinteh. Honorable Minister Kinteh, welcome and thank you for granting us this interview to celebrate the International Children's Day of Broadcasting on MAJaC TV here in Bakau, Newtown South. To set the stage, could you provide an overview of the key responsibility of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, joining you to observe International Children's Day of Broadcasting. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare is responsible for protecting and preventing children from abuse, exploitation, violence, and harmful traditional practices. And protecting children is not the responsibility of government alone. So we do this with the entire community, which of course includes individuals, parents, families, international and local organizations who are also working in protecting the welfare of children. I want to encourage everyone to come on board, because working alone will not pay a dividend. When we work together, we can together protect the welfare of our children. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, could you please tell us the importance of the International Children's Day of Broadcasting for Gambian children?
It is very important because one, it raises awareness on the rights and welfare of children in the Gambia. And also it's an opportunity for children to talk about issues that affect them and to also see how they can make people aware of their rights. Because I know that children have a right, but then let's remember, rights go with responsibilities. On this day, children have the opportunity to go use the airwaves to create awareness on what concerns them and how we as government and the communities can support children in whatever they are doing.
One of the core themes of Icdb is ensuring that children's voices are heard. What specific initiative has your ministry taken to ensure that children actively participate in decisions that affect their lives?
One, which is very important, Children's National Assembly that we have here in the Gambia has been established. And in this assembly, children are represented from all the regions of the country, from every district. They have a representative in this assembly. And they meet occasionally to discuss issues that affect children. And we are invited to these meetings so that we note down the concerns, and at the end of the day, we come with a strategy to implement which will protect the welfare and the rights of children. So be rest assured, we are concerned about the welfare of children. This is the reason why this National Assembly has been established.
Children's rights and welfare. Honorable Minister, despite efforts to protect children, many Gambian children still face child labor, early marriage, and abuse. What concrete step is the government taking to eliminate these harmful practices?
Thank you very much. We agree that children have two places, the school and the home. And we are doing every effort to make sure that they are not exploited. It depends on how you define child labor. Because for me, a child working, helping the mother or a parent on the farm is not considered child labor. Because labor is work that you do and for which you are remunerated. When a child has the father or the mother on the vegetable farm, vegetable garden, or the garden farm, that's not child labor because that child is not remunerated. Again, if the parent is a welder and the child helps the parent in the welding shop or welder shop, that too is not child labor. After all, That child is learning a skill. But where a child is used to go earn income and bring for the parents, that's what we refer to as child labor. And every effort is being made to create awareness among the communities and individuals on what is child labor and what effect, negative effect it has on the welfare and the future of the child. And we are working together with entire communities because we cannot do this work alone. That's why we are working with communities and then parents and everybody so that they send children to school but not use them to do child labor. Yes, I do agree. We have a lot of children selling in the streets. That's something also which we are addressing. We are trying to see what will be the best strategy to address this issue. This is a big concern to us. We don't want to see them in the streets selling. That's not what children are meant for. But we are coming up with strategies to see how we can support the families so that the children can go to school and stay at home, do their homework, because school and home are safer for children. And then in that way, when we support the families, then they will not send their children to sell in the streets. Because when they send them to sell in the streets, they're exposing them to many dangers, which are harmful to the welfare and the future of the children. Thank you very much.
And what are some of the programs or policies that your ministry put in place to help Gambian children who are vulnerable or living in difficult situations?
Thank you very much. We have the Family Strengthening Program, in which we support families. We get the data from GBOS, and from that data, we are able to identify families with children in vulnerable families. And we support them through the Family Strengthening Program, through 3 monthly cash transfers. And at the same time, we also support them in kind when there is need for that. For example, during the flash floods in 2020, we gave support to families with children in vulnerable families in the North Bank, Central River region, and West Coast region, and even in the Greater Banjul area. So we didn't only give cash transfers, but we also supported by giving them rice, sugar, and oil. And now we have a big project with World Bank, and the other one is with EU, where we are supporting families across the country through cash transfers. We identify children in vulnerable households, and we support with that. And also, those who are going to school and they need support with uniforms and textbooks and shoes. We also support with that.
Thank you so much. How could children and their families report to the government cases of abuse against them or violation of their rights?
We have the 199 toll-free, which one can call. And once it's 24 hours operational, when you call that number and report a case of violence against a child, and there's immediate response. If it is in the rural areas, you are referred to the one-stop centers and the health facilities. If it is here in the urban area, we have a quick response. A vehicle is dispatched to collect the individual and bring her to our shelter. It's a temporary shelter, and that's where we address the issues. Once we address the issues, the child is released back to go back to the family.
Thank you. We move on. Education and opportunities for children. Challenges such as child labor, early marriage, and abuse affect children in their pursuit of education. How is your ministry working with partners to ensure that every child gets quality education?
Thank you very much. The Ministry of Gender is working very closely with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to ensure that every child goes to school. Ministry of Education had made it possible that the distance between homes and schools are very close, and they try to bridge the distance to make sure that children don't walk long distances to get to the school, the nearest school. And that's one way in which we are working with them to reduce the distance that they walk. And that way we encourage more children to be sent to school, more especially girls, because we know that most families we are sending only boys. And because of the work that we are doing with them, we are able to have parity now in the schools. We have more and more boys and girls going to school at primary and secondary level. Now our concern is the university level, because we see a lot of girls dropping. If you do an assessment of the schools, you find out that if girls outnumber the boys in both the primary and also in the high schools or senior secondary schools. But then when you go to the university, you see a big gap. What's happening? What's happening to the girls? We're getting concerned about that. And it's a question that everybody is asking. And as a result, we have a scholarship scheme although it's for those doing sciences, because we are trying to bridge the gender gap in science and technology. And we give girls scholarship. Girls who want to do the sciences, we give them a scholarship to go to university and other tertiary institutions. So that all shows the interest that we have in the education of the girl child. And we are not working alone. We are working with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, as well as higher education as well, to make sure that more and more girls go to school and they complete up to university, so that they can become, they can have better jobs and become more responsible in the future. After all, children are the future of the country. So if you nurture them now, then we are sure of getting a very good, society, or a very good Gambia in the future.
Are there any special government programs that support girls' education to motivate them to stay in school?
Of course, yes. I know that at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, they have the second child education. When the girl falls victim of teenage pregnancy, they don't drive her out of school. It is now a policy. When she delivers, she can continue either in the same school or a different school. But many a time, they prefer to continue in a different school. So that is all geared towards making sure that girls stay in school. And we also have the scholarship program, which I just mentioned. I know up to high school in public schools is free of charge. But then we support with textbooks, for example, and also other things which the families cannot afford. Uniforms, shoes, school bags. But then for them to continue to higher education, high level tertiary education like university and other tertiary institutions, we have the scholarship program which you offer them. And the Minister of Higher Education also has a scholarship program which is offered to everybody, but more especially to girls.
Thank you. As we move on, health and well-being. Children's health is very important. What is being done by the government to ensure that all children in the Gambia have access to good health care and nutrition?
The Ministry of Gender is working very closely with the Ministry of Health to ensure that children have access to free health services. Nutrition is one aspect, and also whatever service is provided at health facilities for children, it is free of charge. They don't have to pay for the services. And one thing also we have done with the Ministry of Health, we are working closely with them to ensure that we have enough qualified staff, health personnel, like, for example, pediatricians, for example. And the Ministry of Health wanted to teach postgraduate pediatrics. To qualify them, they needed space. So we have seats in Banjul where we used to house social welfare. So they came to my ministry, and because social welfare, now we are all together in my ministry. Women's Bureau is now Director of Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment. Social welfare, we divided into two directorates, Director of Social Welfare and Director of Children's Affairs. So we are all housed in one building now here in the Combos. So when the Ministry of Health came to us to say they wanted to use the space, which was previously used for social welfare, so that they can qualify to reach postgraduate pediatrics, quickly we gave the approval. And now they are qualified and they are now teaching postgraduate pediatrics. So when those people graduate, they will be posted all over the country to attend to the welfare and health, especially of our children. This is how we are partnering with the Ministry of Health to make sure that the health of children is improved. And at the Ministry of Health, during their antenatal services also, they do health education talks. They educate parents and mothers on the nutrition of children. I think that's very, very important because we have to improve their nutrition. Nutritional health is very important if you want them to grow up fast and also grow healthy. So Ministry of Health is doing well by making sure that health services are free of charge. And now with the teaching of postgraduate pediatrics, we are getting more and more pediatricians graduating who are serving across the country to provide the right services to the children of the Gambia.
Some children live with disabilities, making it difficult to access certain services. What services does your ministry provide to support the inclusion of those children in schools and communities?
At our ministry, we believe that no children should be left behind. This is the reason why we have come up with the Disability Act of 2021. And it clearly states the rights of every person who has a disability. And we are very active in the implementation by creating awareness among the general populace that they shouldn't discriminate against children with disabilities. But one thing is clear, disability doesn't mean an inability. So let them send their children to school, and then government will give all support We have seen children with disability excelling in schools. So let parents send their children to school. They have a right like any other person to go to school and also to continue school and complete school. We have given support. Like for example, right now we are supporting the University of the Gambia and other institutions with talking laptops. Yeah, speaking laptops, as you may sometimes call them. You know that there are people with who are visually impaired, and that's the reason why we are supporting the institutions with speaking laptops. We are working closely with the disabilities associations and GOVI, and we have put in place we have established a disability council, and we give them support. And similarly, we also support people with disability with a lot of with wheelchairs, and also things that will facilitate their movement all over the country. And we have an orthopedic unit in Banjul where we manufacture limbs for those who are amputated. And we also support with wheelchairs, clutches, just to make sure that they are not discriminated against. After all, they have a right to live, they have a right to move about, they have a right to go to school. So what I can say to parents is that let them send their children who have a disability to school. They have a right to learn, they have a right to be a responsible adult tomorrow. And one of the ways in which that can happen is to make sure that they are educated at all levels. The government is here to give all the support. We don't discriminate against children. We make sure that their welfares are met, and it's all inclusive for them, and they're not left behind in any way.
Thank you. Children's participation and future. Despite age, children have the potential to positively impact national development. How could they contribute to the development of the Gambia?
The government of the Gambia has been working very hard on this to bridge the gap on child protection, which the ministry is aware of. We strengthen our services and our work across the country and make sure that the child protection laws are implemented.
What advice will you offer for Gambian children about their future?
Children's protection, it's everybody's business. So we should all come together and work towards improving the health and welfare of our children. It is everybody's business. We can't work in isolation if we want to make sure that children are well developed so that they can be responsible people tomorrow. After all, they are the future of the country. So you must all come together and give all the support that is required in whatever form to make sure that our children are fully developed and prepared and ready to serve this country as future adults and responsible persons of the country.
Honorable Minister, if you had one powerful message for all the children listening today, what will it be?
It will be the children are the future of the country, and we should all come together as Gambians and support the children. How do you support them? Their welfare. Bring them up properly. Give them a right start in life, that is to send them to school, educate them, and give all the support that is required so that they can be responsible for the future. Without children, there's no future. Without the children, there's no Gambia. So let's come together as Gambians and give our children all the support that is required from the day they are born to the day that they complete university education so that they can serve this country and serve the country well.
Finally, what lasting commitment can the government make today to ensure a brighter future for Gambian children?
Make everything available for the children. Good education, good homes, good hospitals, whatever is needed for the children to be a good adult tomorrow and a responsible adult tomorrow, government makes that available. And in fact, government is doing the extra mile by making that available. From the schools, the homes are giving support, families are giving support, the schools are giving support, and everywhere that the child needs support from, government is working on that, and all the support that is required is given, just to make sure that the children are developed to be responsible adults tomorrow.
What is your final remarks for this interview?
My final remark will be, let's work together. Let's create awareness. People need to know the government is here to support the children of the Gambia. After all, they are the future adults. So let's work together. When we work together, we make a better achievement. When we work in isolation, we don't make much achievement. So I want to encourage everybody to come together. Let's work together in partnership is success.
Thank you so much. That was all we had time for this special interview with our guest, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Honorable Fatou Kinteh. Thank you for watching. Until we come your way again, I was your host, Binta Njie. On behalf of the production team, goodbye from me.